Hey folks, Joe here. Hey, many of you may have noticed that the last 3 or so weeks I haven't put out a lot of videos. I've actually been traveling the American West. Went and saw a couple of kids of mine that live out west and to see 5 national parks in the state of Utah. So a little hiatus for me and now I'm back. So today, exciting, I have 2 questions from Angela that are very typical of plants on their reliability journey. Most people go through this, these challenging of KPIs, challenging of their direction, and I think this is just so typical. I answer these questions all the time, and I thought this would apply to you. So let's get started with this. Many plants struggle with this. Hopefully, I can make it simple for you. Turnaround work, my plant just declared that turnaround work will be excluded from proactive metrics and KPIs since it's considered schedule restoration. So they pull out all the work hours and all the PMs and everything, all the repair work associated with turnaround work, and don't count it anywhere in their KPIs. They have major work scheduled every 4 years, and they're wanting to extract that every 4 years on certain assets. So I think every year they have one of these major outages and they just pull it out. They don't count it as either reactive or proactive work. Do you agree with that? That's question number 1. Question number 2. My coworkers are proposing that we grade or categorize all work and repairs that is discovered on a PM to be calling that proactive work. So if you're doing a PM and it's an inspection and you discover work that you had no idea was there, that you need to change the brakes, need to replace a hose, need to do, wear plates worn, that is all considered proactive work because you found it through a proactive PM. Do you agree with this approach? What do you think? And the last question is, what advice do you have to kind of explain my position to their coworkers? Excellent questions. These are probably a little more detailed. I could have made these generic, but I thought that made them a little more genuine to be exact questions. But it's all around KPIs. Okay. So let's go. Well, first of all, it's Joe Kuhn, lean-driven reliability, bridging the gap between best practices that you should be doing, just can't quite figure it out in your culture. You're struggling, you're stressing, you're having arguments with each other on reliability. Can I make it simpler for you? The answer is absolutely. Question number 1. This was on the turnaround work. To take all work hours and all KPIs, to take all that out of the calculation for those KPIs, all turnaround work. Does that make sense? Not really. I can understand you wanting to pull out or be able to segment out turnaround work because sometimes you have different work groups, sometimes you have different planners that are executing that, and you may want to see, how are you during, the 9 months of normal activity at your plant versus how are you during the 3 months of a turnaround? Does your planned work go up or down during that time period? I understand you will want to segment that. I think that's a good idea. It's really targeting where's your waste, where's your opportunity to do better, to get more efficient, do better precision work, get better results. I completely understand that. However, there's no logic at all that says let's pull that out of the KPI in total and say when you're looking at all of our work and maintenance, we have 80% reactive maintenance, 20% planned maintenance. You just can't pick and choose what work you want to count in that KPI. But it does make some sense when you want to find out where the waste is. Hopefully that's a good answer to your question. I'm telling you what this smells like to me and what I've seen at plants before. You're trying to manage the metric. You've been given a challenge. You want to get to 60%, 80%, planned work. So let's start managing the numbers and have it artificially go up So you go from 60 to 80% planned work. Everybody's patting you on the back. Good job. The plant sees nothing. The asset doesn't run any better, doesn't run any better quality, doesn't run faster, does, you know, same amount of downtime. Folks, that's just cheating. True north is eliminating the waste, and that's what KPIs are supposed to highlight: waste, not hide it because you're manipulating it. If that's too stern, sorry, that's how I feel. And all the data is on my side. Question number 2. We are considering grading this work as proactive. All work and repairs that come from executing PMs. So you got a time-based PM, say it's once a month, you go in and you find some discovery work and you have to make those repairs. Is that proactive work, those repairs? No. That's the simple answer. No, it's not. Discovery work during a PM is by definition reactive work. There's no gray here. There's no gray area. It is reactive work. You didn't know the work existed. You know, as a rule, you know, all work, you know, needs to be planned the previous work week before. You know, at my plant, we had, hey, if it's not in the system at 9 o'clock on Thursday, and you need to get better than this, but 9 o'clock on Thursday, the week prior, that's the definition of all the work planned, kitted, and scheduled and staged out at the work site at 9 o'clock on Thursday the previous week, or it's reactive work. Case closed. Okay, very simple one. No, that's managing the metric again. Okay, so great 2 questions that very clearly people are trying to manage the metrics to me. You know, what advice, question 3, what advice do you have to help explain this to my coworkers? You know, folks, this is something you really need to get through your organization. Every single reliability tool, every maintenance activity, every tool you use to improve in the R&M space, reliability space, is designed to eliminate waste. It could be waste in having unplanned downtime. It could be waste of worker efficiency, wrench time kind of stuff. You got 3 people doing what 2 people can do. It could be quality. You have quality performance because of an asset not working right. It could be you know, parts not lasting as long as they should because you didn't adjust them right, you didn't lubricate them, you didn't PM them, okay? So all those things, all those results of all your tools is to eliminate waste. This is how the business gains value. You instead of having a 48-hour planned outage, you get that down to 38 hours. Instead of having the unplanned downtime, the quality, that's where the plant gets value. Having a planned work component go from 60 to 80% because you're manipulating the KPIs does nothing but make you feel better, okay? The plant gets no value out of that. It's very clear. KPIs do not pay the rent, folks. Do not pay the rent. They don't pay your salary. In the questions I get like above from Angela, I have a simple way to stop all those arguments, all those discussions, and get on to solving problems. Is the decision or action you're contemplating, does it hide waste or does it expose waste? If you're calling something a reactive or planned maintenance that's actually reactive, you're hiding the waste. You're hiding it. You want to expose the waste so you can work on it. So that is reactive maintenance. How do we prevent that from happening? So you're doing this PM, you discover that this plate has a crack in it. You want to root cause that. You want to prevent that from happening again. You don't want to call that planned maintenance and pat yourself on the back that we found something broken. You want to call that reactive, okay? And that shouldn't be considered a bad thing. You're highlighting waste. That's a good thing. You're finding a problem, you're able to fix it. Don't hide waste, okay? The 2 questions that Angela gave me clearly, I mean, those just really, the organization was trying to get their KPIs up by hiding waste, okay? The first step to having a culture of reliability is you have to have focus on waste and recognize that all tools are going after waste, and you have to want to see it. I mean, it's really that simple. These discussions fall away. You should not be spending energy debating these things. Are you trying to hide waste or are you trying to expose waste? It's that simple. Does this make sense to you? By the way, Angela, your plant is completely normal. I've seen this a lot, and you need to work through it. And the waste discussion makes it simple. That's my 34 years of experience coming out there. Focus on waste. This discussion gets easy. Now, where does this come from? Most of the time, it comes from pressure from top management. Top leaders say, hey, I went to a seminar and I've seen that best in class planned maintenance is 80%, and I want to be there by Monday, and I want you to explain why we're not there every day or every week in a weekly report. We're at 60 now, so you feel that pressure, people start managing KPIs, and voila, we're there. Managers, you need to understand that we're trying to eliminate waste. We're not trying to hide it. Your ultimate KPIs, are OEE of the assets, sales of the assets, that you can make more product, you can have better quality performance, your R&M spend trends. Those are what's important, whether it's planned work or unplanned work. It doesn't really matter if you're lying to yourself, right? I've also pressure from top leaders in your plant. The second place I've seen this come from is corporate. Corporate wants to have a one-size-fits-all KPI. Every plant needs to be at 80%, and they use the peer pressure to beat on each other. These two plants did it. Why can't you do it? So under that pressure, people start managing KPIs, and you get in these debates. That's what's happened. It's wasted energy, folks. I'm using waste a lot in this discussion. Hey, folks, a waste mindset changes everything. Are your decisions hiding waste or are they exposing waste? Hey, folks, begin your journey. If you disagree with me, hey, give me a comment, give me an email. Love to enter into a discussion on this. I've seen this 100 times, easy. This isn't that hard. You're making it hard if you're debating what goes into a KPI, but it's a natural progression as you do a reliability culture. Get through that fast. Get free pointers from me anytime. I'm here. This is Joe out.